Cue the intro.
Okay, let's try something different.
Welcome back, guys. Today we've got something a little bit special. We got
a new intro, first of all.
well, there's that, so we can celebrate that.
Yay!
But
Give
also,
a like for that.
Yeah, structure,
like, subscribe, comment.
quality. Sorry, I had to.
Right now we've got some quality, pretty private beta that we've got some access to.
Yeah, I was going to say
is-
thank you very much for from EA for supplying us with the closed beta code.
Yeah, definitely.
For Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which comes out in June. It just got pushed not too long ago.
Yeah, it was already supposed to be out. But
Yeah,
You know
May.
what? It's a pretty polished game. We'll kind of get into it, but it's a pretty polished game for what it is right now. Like, I didn't really look at this as a beta, more
Yeah,
so as a pre-game demo.
Yeah, I think showing off
But
its
I mean,
aesthetics and whatnot.
we have the gameplay today, so you guys can kind of see that for yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of a testament to itself.
And you can tell that it's beta because it's got the little beta code that's floating around screen.
Yeah, so one thing I want to say is thank you, Chris, for signing up for that beta. I got a code through Microsoft later. Thank you, Microsoft. But, Chris, we're playing off your account today.
Yep.
Today, I'm just going to take the blame and credit for playing the actual gameplay that you guys are going to be seeing. So any goose or kerfuffles that you see and terrible free
Kerfuffles.
running, that's because that's how I free run in real life. We just have to connect.
Parkour. yeah. This is just one giant ad for parkour, and I remember I think when the original came out, that's like the high popularity.
That's
of
exactly
parkour.
what everyone was talking about.
Yeah.
No.
It's just a parkour game.
That being said, I never actually played the first one, and I'm not that comfortable with the backstory. So, Chris, I know this is one of your favorite games. We've talked before about
Yep.
how you're pretty
I
much
always
only
talk about
just
this.
looking forward to this game, and you might end up getting a next-gen console or a current-gen console with the release of this game coming up in like less than a month or
Yeah, of
around
course.
a month. So, just quickly, as if you were talking to someone that's never played the game before, what is Mirror's Edge?
So Mirror's Edge is about a girl named Faith. In the first game, you were kind of dropped into it with a little less backstory, I would say. It's just more of they were just kind of playing with the idea of free running as the main objective of the game.
Mm-hmm.
With Catalyst, what they're trying to do is kind of give more depth to Faith, give her history and give her backstory a little bit more of a spotlight. Where in the first game you just kind of played and they dropped small hints of her family being a part of a rebellion and her not really kind of following in her steps, but in a different way, being the free runner that she is. In this game, as you can see, you clearly start in a more, I would say,
Familiar?
not really familiar, more I don't know what the word is. You, as you can see, you start with her coming out of jail.
Oh, okay.
You didn't really have her do anything police related in the first game.
So
in the
here,
sense-
it's not that I don't know the controls. I just wanted you guys to see any of the glimmer effects, any of the raindrops, stuff like that they've tried to
Yeah,
implement. Keep in mind, this is pre-release footage, and it's all being played on the Xbox One. Obviously, it's going to be hard to tell. But these are all the glare, the glint, rainfall. You can see the patterns on the
The
ground.
effect, yeah.
I was going to say
Yeah, so
that
this is-
even though this is beta, and I'm sure it's already pretty much 99.9% complete.
For sure,
It does look really
even
nice.
that last hit, if you play it back, you can see she stumbles, which
Yeah.
I mean they need to include
Pretty
that
in
for a
depth.
beta.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Even
look at
right
that.
here, the light
Look at
from the
that.
alleyway
Flicker.
is blinding you.
It's nice.
Of course, it's controlled. They know you're going to be there, but that happens multiple times in the game. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of games are
it's
like
it's
that.
very, very polished. I've played a lot of closed betas and alphas. This is a very, very polished beta.
Awesome. Continuing on, Chris, with the
Yeah,
story,
well-
I was going to ask, is this game a reimagining or a kind of
No, it's more of like a prequel to
that
it.
goes through and like passes through the...
Yeah, so they're kind of yeah, I would just say it's a prequel. It's
Okay.
it's the
It's
origin
the
of Faith.
Prometheus to Alien.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So
I saw Prometheus.
they
I liked it.
they had a comic for the first game,
Mm-hmm.
and that was what was giving more depth to the character of Faith.
Oh, in case for the fans that wanted
exactly.
to find out.
Now in this game, they kind of took that and imagined it or
Fleshed it out.
fleshed it out. They fleshed it out. They gave it form in this game.
Because she feels like a person. Like, even just, like, once again, pre-release footage that we're basing this all off of. But they've given her more of a character. She feels like more like a person to me here than she ever did in the first game.
And not only that, they gave her Google Glasses.
Which they immediately turn off. Which
She's
is
like,
incredible.
Oh.
I just wanted to show you guys a death animation that was not a mistake. Carry on, Chris.
Carry on.
Well, yeah, that's the gist of it. So if you are a fan of the first game, this will definitely be a great game for you to get more in depth in the game if you felt that the story in the first one was a little bit lacking.
Saved it.
If you're new to the series, Seb, how did you feel about it?
So when I saw you playing it, or when I saw Dylan playing it, I was pretty in awe of just the traversal around buildings and just how, like, up and down verticality, and just, like, look here, like, you're going around, and it's pretty cool that it's kind of showing you with the shadow ahead of you, kind of where to go.
Yeah. And you know what? That's more so because I think it's because it's a closed beta.
Yeah.
They wanted to see how different people played it.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that'll be throughout the entire game.
I was gonna say in the first game, did they have some sort of like path to follow?
They didn't. The GPS in the first
objective
game was not as, I'm going to say, intricate as this one. There was no there were no shadows except when you were doing time trials.
Oh yeah. Which I think
the whole point of the game, or the whole directional system in the game, was just red colors.
Yeah.
So any red object in the world was your kind of guide. So
or objective
now
to reach.
it's got that
probably kind of like that with
just
the
like
fence.
right now, you
exactly.
can see,
The door's
like,
red,
the ladder's red.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So
I
it kind of gives you like a direction. There's a red light there. That's how I should have known to go that way.
Okay, I didn't pick that up the
pipe.
first time around. So pointing it out now, like.
And you know what?
Definitely.
They don't beat you over the head as much here because you have this runner vision.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's still there. So, like, I noticed, especially when we're playing later levels, you guys will see that stuff kind of disappears.
Oh, okay.
Like, they're not going to be no runner is going to be going around with a can of red paint, painting stuff. Like right now, we're running on blue walls, which is amazing.
Yeah. The color in the game is great. The way they play with the palette, for sure.
That's awesome. I, coming from like background where I play a lot of open world games, I thought I would feel kind of lost at this because I like to explore my surroundings a lot, and I see that this is kind of like, you know, you have an objective, you want to reach that objective pretty much quickly, right? Like I don't see you exploring too much. Is there stuff to pick up on, like on the sides, or is it beneficial to not look around and just focus on what's ahead?
So I'm gonna say right now, there absolutely is collectibles. There absolutely is stuff to look for. I just chose not to do it in the sense that I knew that this was going to be pre-release footage. We weren't going to have access to the game for forever.
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure if there was a time mechanic or anything like that involved.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a clean run, as clean as falling on the ground and eating dirt goes. Just so that we have the footage and we can show you guys something, so you don't have to be fast forwarding, and like you can watch a seamless run in the sense that I knew that people would be watching this. I didn't want to have to make you guys fast forward through the content as much. So, like, I didn't really traverse. There is a section in the gameplay when they open us up to the quote-unquote open world where I did pick up a couple of collectibles, so you guys will see that. But they're in the open beta, once again, they're in the closed beta, which, once again, you wouldn't really see in a closed beta, but it's there. So that also leads me to believe that this is, once again, pre-release footage, but it's a little bit more complete and polished than I would have ever expected.
Right.
For the stage that it's in, yeah.
So
I was going to ask, who's this Icarus character? Was he in the other one? Or is
he was referenced in the first game.
And there he goes.
Yeah, there he goes.
I also like that he just came up, like if you guys were watching, he just came up from there, and then he exchanges some lines with Faith and runs right back.
Holy moly.
Which is fantastic, right? Because
just like popping in, Faith, and here's your tip, and whoop-de-doo, I'm getting out of here. Peace. So yeah, you were saying he was referenced in the first one?
He was referenced in the first one, but of course, since the game takes place further into the future in the first Mirror's Edge,
All right.
again, he was just referenced.
So who knows what happened to him? Maybe
Exactly.
we'll
I
find
guess
out
we'll
in this
find out
later
in
in
this
this game.
I
Yeah.
mean, for the most part, in the first one, you don't really interact with other runners.
No, there was like maybe 2
Yeah.
or 3.
But like in this one already, we've seen at least 6 or 7. So, and
Yeah.
this once again pre-release. So,
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it really is impressive. How,
and the first one definitely implies that there are other runners because
Yes.
you hand off packages to them and stuff. You just don't have a dialogue. Like Faith is more like Chell in Portal. In the first Mirror's Edge, like she doesn't really talk. She's not a vocal character. Whereas in this one, she definitely exchanges dialogue.
yeah,
She
yeah.
plays a more prominent role
Yeah,
in the progression of the story
correct.
than she did in the first one. In the first one, it was more just getting packages wherever they needed to. Spoiler alert: the whole story of the first one was just fighting one security firm.
Hold those arms though.
That was about it.
It's not
In
this one, though,
Game,
the-
no. In this game, they definitely have something to do with that security firm because they do get referenced even in this gameplay. So it's not much of a spoiler.
Right.
But it's a little bit more towards the actual universe that they're playing in. They talk about like the class system and all that, so and how Faith fights for the lower classes, or at least tries to help the lower classes.
And what's really funny is I got that from this, like from this closed beta, but I didn't really get that in the first game.
Yeah.
Like in the first game, I felt like I was very much like a rebel fighting the man. Like I thought it was a government security company, whereas here I get more so that it is a private security company.
What's funny, I have 2 points to make. One that was impressive was just how smooth the mechanics are,
Thank you.
and except
except
as
for
your fault. My second point was going to be, I always find it funny in games like this, in general, open world games or games where you're traversing around, how certain things are just, it's so nice that certain things are laid out in certain ways. Like, who would expect to be able to jump from this pipe to this wall with this landing board here, right? You know, the creators and the artists of the game really thought about each design, like of the
Map
level.
design,
Map
level design is amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
kind of that makes it make sense, right?
Yeah. And what's nice about this one that I, once again, didn't really feel about the first one is they've massively improved the feeling of it's not linear. Like, the first game
Yes.
very much felt like you were setting up a level. Once again, there's nothing wrong with that. Single-player games are, for the most part, linear. We're getting into now, with more memory, with more RAM, that they're able to have open worlds in a continuous world where they can have everything running at the same time. But like now with this game, I've noticed, and you'll see it in the gameplay, where even if I screw up, I'm able to recover sometimes because they've created more than one path that you can traverse.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that when you play the first game, you are usually set into a small, closed off, I would say, area where you're trying to get to from point A to point B with, in my opinion, a fairly limited number of options. Where there are you do get options, but not as many as you do here. This definitely opens up the world because the whole world is open all the time.
Right.
At any point, you can move anywhere you'd like. There's no, like in the first game, certain areas you can only access during certain chapters.
Oh, okay.
Here, everything's open at all times.
Oh, that's pretty
Any
cool.
door you open during a run is a door you can open in free roam or during a mission or during any point in time ever.
Oh, that's
Unless
pretty
it's
cool.
a time trial, which I learned the hard way.
Yes.
And that's only because they let you open the door. I'll give them credit for that. It's just it ruins your runtime, so you may miss your mark.
Right.
Just because it's openable doesn't mean you have to.
It
Quick
doesn't
question.
mean you should.
Quick
Yeah.
question. So with this is pretty much, I know it's the closed beta, but it's also pretty much a tutorial of how to play the game.
Absolutely.
Just mechanics.
This is
This
100%.
Which is
section of the game
Chris and
is
I-
a tutorial.
Which
Chris
is
and
smart.
I can 100% say this is the tutorial in the game.
Which is pretty perfect because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
allowing certain users, fans, to gain access to closed beta will get them accustomed to the new or updated mechanics and get a feel for the game and possibly enjoy it more. Because seeing as how I didn't play the first one, I feel like if I were to play this, I would not be as smooth as you were, even with the couple mistakes you made. I would feel clunky and whatnot, but you picked it up and it was like a second nature almost to you.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So yeah, there you go.
So,
Combat tutorial.
So they play it into the story where I don't know how many of you are paying attention to the actual story going on right now or the subtitles. Icarus
cool.
is there trying to help Faith
that guy just-
kind of reemerge from the prison.
This is something
And-
new that they added that I really like with the combat. Like, it actually feels like I'm fighting them now.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
in the first
not.
one, it
Yeah,
was very like,
in the first one, you just walk up
Press
to them
B
and
now.
punch them, and then
Press-
here
press X
it's
now.
more of they have a life bar. You have more maneuverability too.
You were saying?
Icarus,
About
in the
Icarus.
combat.
They kind of integrated this whole learning how to run on the wall, learning how to
Goodbye.
do that, for example.
Yeah.
All of the combat and everything is worked into
Oh,
kind of
Jesus.
like an introduction to the story. I would say this is exactly like a preface. Helps you get into the story, helps you get into the game, all while teaching you the mechanics, because these mechanics do not work like most games out there today. How many games can you think of are just straight up free running, not like Dying Light or anything where the main goal is survival but shooting zombies? Here it's survive.
Yep.
There's no you don't get any weapons. Your fists are your weapons.
Which is funny because
as designed as they are,
Yeah.
it's your fists.
Which is funny because you could pick up one of the guards' batons and whatnot, but I mean it'll slow her down, right? It makes more sense. For
and
her
you
to
know
be
what?
as
In
light
the
as
first game,
possible.
I think they did have guns, and it may once again come into
Yeah.
play later.
Yeah.
But it made her slower. It's harder to free run, and so on and so forth.
it
Super
was
Soldier.
disadvantageous.
I'm gonna say I didn't mess up there. That was designed into the game.
That was
Yeah.
the story.
That's okay. We believe you.
Take what you
What
will
is
from
that?
that.
Who is this? Is this like an
See, the
like,
path even points down
We
there.
have-
elite
Yeah.
guard? Like an elite guard or
He's talking shit. He's a sentinel.
antagonist?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the antagonists. From the looks of it, he is a trained, I would say, police force member who is specifically trained to combat runners. Obviously, he was a little bit too cocky because we got away, but
In
that's
this-
just part of the story.
in this
he's
world-
introduced without introduction.
And in this world, is it popular? Or like, are these combat runners popular? Like, is this the main force? I guess the rebels, the opposite, and like
So
fighting against
in the first game, they also had this new super soldier who was specifically, I would say, tailored to fight runners.
Shout out to Sebastian's mom for bringing his chips.
But here, the officer, as you saw, was designed way different than the one from the first game. He seems to be a lot stronger, and that's another thing about this game. The enemies feel as strong as they are, just from walking up to them, just from their actions and how they are. You can feel their strength, or you can sense their strength just from looking
They're
at them.
designed extremely well in
Yeah.
the sense that like they look as agile or as
Not agile.
smooth, elegant as they are.
Yeah.
and there's the title.
And yeah, there's a
screen,
title
kind
card,
of
guys. But believe it or not, this is where most betas would end. But nope, this game goes on for a
Yeah,
while.
we recorded, I believe, about 30 minutes of the beginning.
Yeah,
but
we recorded the beginning, but you know
How far
what?
did you explore
the
into
game
the
allows
beta?
you to play. Me and Chris were playing for well over 4 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there was more. Like we finished the main story in the closed beta, but there was tons. There was time trials which we got
sorry,
into,
by the what do you mean by the main story? The main story that they show you
that
in
they
the beta.
allowed us to have
Yeah,
access
not
to.
So
like
if-
you didn't get the whole story of the game in
Of
the
course
beta.
not.
So
But imagine,
just
like
as-
for a single player game, like 4 hours is a lot.
Yeah.
Like
As
nowadays.
as a reference, they pretty much gave you like a lot in comparison. Let me give you a reference or a comparison. If you were playing GTA, this would have given you like well into at least Michael's storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was 3 or 4 hours into Michael's storyline.
Yeah.
It's not that, there's like a bunch of side missions that are just like one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
No. They gave you story. And it was a very long duration.
Yeah, like
In addition-
I feel like after playing this, I have a good idea of what's gonna happen.
What to
Very good
expect with
idea.
the actual game, right?
And it
Yeah.
doesn't detract from it at all.
It doesn't detract at all.
Nice.
This is me just trying out some of her kung fu moves because I saw them fighting over there.
Yeah.
Here, I think here I show you guys how to fall on your ass. But once I recover from this, I'll show you one of the pickup items that I was talking about.
Okay, so like the collectibles in the
Yeah,
game.
and they're in the game. So here's one right now. It's like a map or something. But there it is. And you
Document,
just
cool.
pick it right up.
Document plus 25. What's the XP for?
I'm gonna assume that is part of some sort of progression system, and by assume I mean it's definitely part of some progression system. When me and Chris were playing for like our 4-hour run, we got into like the upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
There are different tiers. Do you remember what they were?
I don't remember what they're called.
No, well, but like there was like an agility and movement tier. There was a combat
So you
tier,
can get faster.
Oh, yeah, and like a utility
tier.
I think there were
I
just
think
three.
I think it was just 3. But yeah, and you can change your outfit. But like I think that
cool.
was like an online thing,
Yeah.
kind of.
I feel kind of conflicted about the progression system. While I was playing, I did have kind of like I feel like that's more of like a hardcore. I wouldn't say hardcore, but a more dedicated fan for Mirror's Edge, someone who has played the first Mirror's Edge within last 2 months. While playing this game, there were a lot of moves that are in the progression system that I kept trying to do
Yeah.
in this beta and kept failing because they're not there, because they are quote unquote
They're
unlockables.
upgrades. Yeah, they're upgrades.
I see.
They're upgrades. So I'm
And it was more so that it was like unexpected more than like it didn't detract from the game at all. Like whatever, we worked around it, and you'll see in the game
Yeah.
like it's flawless. Like,
But-
we didn't really bother.
one good thing that came out of it though is that it doesn't take forever to unlock those
Yeah,
upgrades.
definitely
It's
not.
It
not a
definitely
grind.
like we
It's not a grind.
yeah. So we unlocked it within 3 hours of the game, and we
Absolutely.
had all of the basic moves
Yep.
from the previous game. And they took it a one step further, and they even made those basic moves, which you can unlock fairly easily, even better
Yeah.
with more
Like a
upgrades,
tier 2
which
upgrade.
is great. I like that part.
Yeah.
So this guy that Fate's talking to, was he in the previous games?
Yes, he was. He was kind of like, I would say, the dispatcher. He was the voice in her ear,
Oh.
telling her where to go, what to do, what needs
cool.
to be done, what was happening with the police.
He was Faramir from Lord of the Rings. No, I'm just kidding.
Or the Oracle?
And this is kind of like a callback now to the first game in the sense that these are the clothes in her outfit from the first game.
Slightly redesigned.
And there it is, upgrade system. We're gonna pull it up. So yeah, like we said, movement, combat, and gear.
Yeah.
So here
Which
we go.
are those basic things.
It's up on screen right now. I've kind of scrubbed through all the movement ones, so you guys can pause it and take a look if you'd like. They have a little preview. It says what it does. I mean, they're all pretty obvious. Like they're named very well in the sense that.
That's pretty cool though that they show kind of
So yeah, if you guys are
a
interested, you can,
presentation.
exactly. You guys are more than welcome to pause the video and read through them because I do kind of go through all of them here.
No, they'll even show the.
This
boss
is something
ones,
that me and Chris were looking for is a skill roll because when I was falling, if you guys noticed, she kind of just braces her fall like I would if I was attempting a free run. She doesn't do that like nice little somersault that she used to do in the first game, but it's there, it's unlockable, and there's
unlockable.
even an upgraded spring roll as well. So, you know,
Okay, so yeah.
an egg roll.
which I guess will make it more difficult at first.
Not really. It won't just be. I feel like it just won't be
Maybe
necessary, and
it'll
you'll
be a
appreciate
little more
it more,
clunky.
right?
Yeah.
It's like having that shitty car before you get a nice car.
Going from
Look at
clunky
this.
to
So like
smooth.
this is something new that I never got to really play with, but there's disrupt in the game now, as well as there's this mag rope. So that'll probably be pretty cool to play with in the full
Yep.
game.
We haven't actually, but we were never able to unlock it. But it does look like it will add much more depth into the game, increasing your maneuverability within the city. Especially since
point A to point B
Which
quicker.
also
Exactly.
makes me kind of happy in the sense that there's definitely going to be way more verticality to this game. Like
Yeah.
that's what that indicates to me. is that they plan to be a lot more vertical aspect to this game. So
in comparison
that's
to
pretty
the
cool.
first one.
Question.
now, you guys are probably confused right now looking at the screen. What are we looking at? This is the map. I wasn't really sure how to use it, as you'll see me struggling for a little bit, and I'm man enough to admit that. So eventually,
Real men don't use maps. That's
eventually
why.
we'll figure it out. But I think this is more in relation to closed alpha more than anything else, because
Yeah.
I feel like
feel
it
like-
should have
yeah.
thrown. There we go. I figured it out. See, but once again, it's kind of like white on white. I didn't really understand that, but maybe that's just because I'm colored.
Or hopefully at least they'll add some color for.
No, yeah, I definitely feel like that was just because they knew it was a closed alpha. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Here's another collectible.
Basic kit. Runner kit. Interesting.
Yeah.
My question was going to be. Oh man, I totally forgot.
Oh, and this is confirmed evidence right here that it's a prequel. Because if you remember in the first game, her hands were old as fuck. Now she's young and virile. She uses that Dove body wash. She hasn't given up on life yet. That's how you know.
No, that's jokes. Yeah, no, that's who's Birdman?
A very popular artist from the 90s.
Oh man, they incorporated him in.
Yeah. Henchwoman.
I find that funny too.
That killed me the first time. I read it.
Bodyguard,
Yeah.
guard, just
They could have given her a name.
Body.
And you know what? Like when you play the full game, she's absolutely gonna have a name. It's just
Yeah.
like right now, once again, just pushing for the close alpha. They want people to play it, and I appreciate that.
And you do run past her quite a few times, and
Yeah.
each time there was barely any variation in what she said, but it was kind of like a hint towards what the game is going to be about.
Yeah. And
She
so
kept-
right here, you can kind of see that we've entered like the free roam stage. So I'm just kind of playing with textures. You guys can see that each of the textures make a different sound, which I thought was really cool. Once again, for a closed alpha, not necessary, but awesome.
Yep, definitely great.
So yeah, you were saying sorry.
No, it's
The
just that
henchwoman.
the henchwoman who keeps talking about
slide to the left.
Faith needing to owe someone money. That's about it, and it's just maybe one
And
or
look,
two
like
variations of
it
that.
makes like different noises based off the
length,
duration
yeah.
of the slide, and you'll hear it once again on the boardwalk. It makes a similar slide noise, which is
Yeah.
cool. Right here on this glass.
Yeah, because it's like glass surfaces make a specific sound. Gravel makes a specific sound.
That's good that they're pay attention to the
Yeah.
specifics and
And you know
Such
what?
details.
Pre-release, I have full confidence that it's just gonna get better.
Yeah,
wow.
especially with the delay.
Because imagine I downloaded this in like what, 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
No,
No, it
maybe half an hour or an hour.
Maybe
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we were
almost.
playing something else while we were waiting for it, but yeah, like it's a small packet compared to full size games nowadays.
Oh man, that's awesome though. This is shaping up to be quite an interesting game. And so, Chris, like playing the beta, has it increased your excitement level for the game?
100%. Coming from someone who played the first one and had always been saying that it needed a sequel. Granted, it's not a sequel, but it is a game for the new generation of consoles in comparison to
So
the
now I stopped here for a second because I noticed this. I think it's more of a throwback than a lazy development design
Yeah.
thing. This is exactly from the first game.
This is designed for
Spot for
design.
spot, even that collectible, exact same spot. Chris was the one to notice it.
Yeah.
But like this entire section was directly from the first game, and they even put that little icon there.
That icon,
it
yeah.
makes me believe that it was intentional.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a throwback to the old game.
That's awesome.
I didn't see those packages anywhere else, and I didn't see the icon anywhere else, so it could just be that section was specifically designed to be a throwback to the first game.
And there could be other Easter eggs in different levels. We don't know.
But yeah, it might be
Whoa,
later
Morgan
in the
Freeman.
game
Yeah,
as
it's Morgan
well.
Freeman. And this was like one of the first signs that me and Chris saw that it was pre-release, because as you got further and further into the pre-release content, stuff started popping up, and I mean, like, I'm more than happy about that stuff. You know what? I love it when games have like bugs and stuff, because it just shows room to improve.
Yeah.
And this was one of the characters that had a funny interaction with us as we interacted with him, and he was handing us out missions. Basically, his model didn't load correctly. Maybe it's part of the plot. Who knows?
Here
but
it
he was-
worked though,
he was
thankfully.
fully shadowed, and it was amazing.
Maybe he was unlocked.
It was- yeah,
a
it was
blacker
like-
Morgan Freeman.
Awesome.
It was if you would imagine a locked character.
yeah, kind of. You don't know me yet.
Exactly
Awesome.
like that.
So, Chris, are you going to get an Xbox One for this game?
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. And there you go, guys. Thank you very much for following us along in the first 30 minutes of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Hope you guys enjoyed, and please like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.